I'm sorry for not uploading in the recent days. I just completely got obsessed with Dungeons Antiqua 2. This is the second installment in the Dungeon Antiqua run. I have no idea if there will be a third. If there will be, I expect as much difference between the second and third as between the first and second, despite, especially for the beginning, they are practically using the same assets. Same blue dungeon, same character models, same and monsters, practically everything the same, although there are, by the way, especially later, there are variations compared to the first one. Like there is the silver gloves, I'm not sure what it's called, it doesn't matter. That in the first one protected you from poison. In the second one it does not, and it practically makes it useless, very undesirable. Also, the other big difference, and now it seems that rain won't come through the window this time. So this time there is only a single equipment that depends on the gender, and there is no alignment system. So because this time you preserve your advancement in classes, you don't drop back to level 1 with your class and in general, like in the first one. You practically can develop, the ultimate strategy and just play less than ideal, otherwise it's feasible. But then I was like, Baldur's Gate want to teach me this, why not try soloing the whole thing? The game is not really made for that, but on the other hand, it might be optimized in a sense for that. The monsters are strong, so it's not your first instinct to let's go try a solo playthrough. And of course I started it on hard. There is not really much difference between the two. There is no story deviation. In the first one, when fighting the story boss, your party dropped in on normal to help you out, and that made it a pretty easy win. I mean, normal difficulty. It wasn't an easy win, just a, you know what I mean. And on hard, the party did not. Here, there is no such deviation here, but the program recognizes that you started a solo party. I'm pretty sure there won't be anything after the tutorial section, and I never tried to play in this Dungeon Antiqua 2 playing without the fairy. She's inherent part of the story, so I don't know what would happen if I would not bring her on. I mean, it's probably just explaining the inventory and that kind of things would not pop up as dialogue, but otherwise the story would go on as always. But that's just guessing on my part. Somebody please try it out. Otherwise, so you are doing the solo challenge. That transforms the whole experience, and that's the cool thing about it. Because you generally end up with 2 male in the front, 2 female caster in the back row, and you cast the same spells, practically the same gear, using the same skills, and you just steamroll the monsters, so to say, just because you have the power, and 4 hands are better than 1. As a solo, you have to do everything yourself, so you start to look for the elemental weakness system, and spells you never used before, the air cutter, will be invaluable because it can hit everything, at least for neutral damage, unless something is resistant to it. But I don't think there is anything resistant to it. That can come in handy, because otherwise you have to use the fire and ice spell variant. And there are all the conditions you have to focus on. For the first couple of minutes you will focus as a solo character playthrough on getting free abilities on your secondary slots, because anything is better than nothing, so you end up with skill points all over and experience all over, but that grants you a couple of levels, character levels, which it's preserved, and some HP, but that depends on the stats, but then the stats depend on the classes you are playing at the moment, so that's cool. And what you first you have to deal with poison, so dying in a dungeon will cost you some money, and at the beginning of the game it's very noticeable, so you don't want that. And unfortunately in Dungeon Antiqua 2 you have an unlimited inventory, so you better not sell anything unless you want to buy something. On the other hand, there is the good thing that the resurrection items, consumables, sell a fortune in the shop, so and they don't come into play when you are soloing. It could have, automatically resurrected yourself, but it is not how you work, and then you have to pay attention. There comes the zombies with the paralyzation touch. If you are affected with that, it's automatic dead end, and you want to get rid of all of the other conditions, confusion, sleep, silence, every kind of debuff, so you want to master out your fighter, and you realize, wow, I went for the pure mage and pure priest medic for my normal playthrough, but with a team, but now the bishop is the one I want to max out ASAP, because that gains spells in both categories, and then you desperately want shield, but that's logged behind one of the trials, so you have to unlock it in a subquest. But that comes with dealing with a boss, and bosses have all kind of unique powers and abilities, and for me it was very much like you go in, you identify the boss, because I want 100% bestiary. The game does not come with achievements, but I just want that this time at least. And then the boss just kills me very soon. I read all the spells it used, so I have to pay attention to that, and that. So I have to equip the right equipment and the right abilities to resist those. And I even had to, let's call it the last third of the playthrough, the weapon, if you have a weapon that is good against some group of enemies, like versus giants, versus animated things, versus undead, and so on, then they will deal fraction of damage. And you don't have to deal with this part of the game when you have a group. But soloing, it becomes life and death situation. And you have to act with the right ability, because there is like only a sword that can mitigate the damage from dragons. So when you are mastering your mage in the late game, because you neglected it before, because you had better things to do, you had better access to better classes and abilities, so you just wanted to advance also in the game, so you went with samurai and fighter and that kind of stuff. Things were just left behind, while with a group archer you just picked it up because you fast, easy stud boosts to get from that, because that's all you only need to accumulate 250 victory points. Usually the classes require 600. It becomes, with all these ways to play it through, it becomes marvelous, especially when there are bosses that the boss will start with 3 minions. The 3 minions will start to attack you, and the boss first move and will be faster than you because reasons. Even when you are ridiculously high level, I was like level 70 when there, or something like that, 60 or 70, maybe 60 when I first visited, 70 when I win. The boss drops your health to 1. But it can be mitigated with the right equipment, like there is a skill that gives you regeneration, and an armor, the ancient armor, that gives you a regeneration, and with that you will have, after your health drops to 1, you come back to like 100, and that's enough to suffer the damage from the minions, unless they do the big damage attack. It's just a good, fun dungeon crawling experience for me. And it's not that long of the game, at least not with a team, but with a single character you will die a bunch. It's inevitable, it's part of the game, and it already took me like 3, or maybe this is the 4th day I'm crawling through the dungeon, but it's fun. It's genuinely fun. The problem is I would make my own footage, but I can't. The recording, as you can see in the corner, is just not record anything. I could use my phone to record some footage, or strip someone else's footage. You can watch gameplay videos. They obviously used something else, or used another platform, not PC or something. But I just goodbye until next time.